Ladies and gentlemen, the Ardente. I hate the fact that it has that weird window quirky design going on there. So I'm gonna do something that I think this car desperately needs. I'm going to black out the window pillar accent thingy to a simple black. That's a lot better. What I also don't like is the fact that the tail lights have a weird, busy, crowded design. But I can't help about that. I do want to have, because I'm going to be on the track, I want to have some race tires, because track and tires, very important. And also, not every car has the same amount of sport or special, whatever it is. So I'm going to change the wheels to the Vivace ones, simply because they have an actual race tire compound available for them. So I'm gonna do that. Tires, there we go. Basically, the stock Ardente is the S think something S410. Basically, those can only do Sport and Sport R2. This can actually do proper race tires. So I'm gonna take this on the track and see how well this actually just take it for a test drive first and see how well it handles. So I'm gonna go here and see how I'll take this corner off throttle. Slight understeer, but of course gonna turn the wheel completely 180. Every car may slide a little bit. Let's go into here. Oh, nice. Slight brake, turn. Oh, very nice. So it does like to handle. What I have noticed with the Vivace over time is that it likes to push the... it's not steady enough. It likes to push the nose, especially in the hammerhead. Let's go around the right way this time. Oopsies. Oh, in sport mode even. Okay, gonna do it in sport mode and then do the same without any electrical nannies and see if there's a difference. So in third, say 125-ish, there we go. Second is the same speed for hammerhead. And it's stable. But here I'm gonna do tests off throttle. Very good, nice. And I'm gonna go into hard on the brakes, third, second. Of course, this amount of steady angle, everything will just go whoop off the track. But now I go into no touch control, no electrical nannies. Will it handle different? Will it handle better? Or will it just be the same and it's just good handling chassis? In and in. Of course, floor this much angle. It might go a bit wide, but everything is actually... everything feels very nice. Here the test, around 160 and whoop! I felt the slide kind of shaking, like it wants to, you know, lift off oversteer maybe, maybe not. Inside did not do that. Oh! I don't know if you noticed, but I felt it. If I turn like this here and I floored it with the electrical nannies, it goes wide, really wide. But without the electrical nannies, the moment that I not floor it like a lunatic to make it understeer, it actually decides to just go. And also without the electrical nannies, I can do a nice... oopsies. I can do a nice, you know, reverse 180. Actually, let me try that. Reverse 180. And... yep. Aw. I'm curious, is this overdrive or not? Yeah, front wheel drive, so... There we go. So, how does this compare to something like the ETK K series? The one that is the sporty one. And to be honest, I think this drives better than that sporty ETK. But since this is based on the Vivace, does it drive better than the Vivace? I don't know actually, to be honest. I mean, this drives nice, but is it better than the Vivace? I mean, the Vivace I also like to drive in the Sporty S version, hence why I take this in the Sporty S version. Speaking of coincidence, that, ladies and gentlemen, is a Vivace. Oop. I know I went wrong here. There we go. So that is a Vivace. Ardente, you have a challenger. It's your own cousin. Well, in that case, let's take the Ardente first, because I'm in it already. So, no electronical nannies and race tires. Let's see what it can do. 3, 2, 1, go. There we go. There is 160, 170. Let's slow down a little bit for the corner to come. Bit more brakes. Oops, I should be in third, not second. There we go. Do the tires. Here I do go into second. Not floor it too much, otherwise I will go into the grass. Floor it. Drive like you stole it. In the hammerhead. Hard on the brakes. Third, second, left, and then the right. No lift of oversteer, no understeer, no washing the face into the grass. And very nice and controllable. I do brake slightly here because I fear that I will just shoot off and do a connect without a spoiler. Top Gear reference if you have figured it out. Here I do lift, I want to fly into the grass. If I don't lift, I will always go into the grass no matter what. Second last corner into third. There is Gambon. Go into second just in case. Oop! Slight wheels on the ground and 124.14. That is a nice acceptable time. And surprisingly, when I did some practice runs, I got 124.14 with the exact same wheels and tires combination. So this is a predictable driving car. Now, standard for standard, the Ardente always has wide track suspension because it's a wider body style. That car, I'm gonna get off here. That car has standard, just a normal independent front suspension and a torsion beam rear suspension. But in the Vivace S version, so like the Ardente S, has wide track front and rear suspension. So they are based on the same chassis, same wheelbase, same engine availability, and because I change those wheels around, change same wheels, same tires, same everything. Proof here. So both have a wide track suspension, and both have the Vivace wheels. Where are the wheels? Let's just type wheel. There we go. So both with the Vivace S wheels. And I'm gonna do both with the tires. So this one I need to change from sport to race. And then they are both 1-for-1 the exact same configuration. Both have 5-cylinder engines, both have sporty exhausts, and yada yada yada, you get the deal. So 124.15 to beat. Let's see what this thing can do. Now this thing, I'm gonna take it for a bit of a warm-up as well. Just, you know, driving. Oh, sport mode. We'll turn it off to no electronic nannies. There we go. So this car has, the RPM counter goes in the wrong direction. That really annoys me. But the main thing that annoys me is the fact that it has a bit of a, if you take the corner with some passion, it can actually wash the nose a little bit. Of course, both have front-wheel drive layout, so they can now get some understeer going on. Actually, I don't know for sure. Is this one front-wheel drive or is it all-wheel drive? Oh, hang on a minute. This is all-wheel drive. Hang on a freaking minute. You, for a moment, I need you to do the exact same test. Oh, they're both all-wheel drive. Okay, so I thought this was front-wheel drive. This is both all-wheel drive. Just, it's a lean towards the front wheels. So it's both all-wheel drive, but it has more like a 50-50. I think 60 front, 40 back, something like that. But this car just feels like it is a bit more front heavy compared to the Ardente. And especially noticeable when you have corners, when you take it at some speed, it just, for example, it just washes the front out a little bit more. I don't know why it does that, because it's exactly the same chassis, but this one feels more like it wants to stay with the nose, and it wants to do everything in its power to not make the rear step out of line. Anyways, let's see what this thing can do. 124.15 to beat, and go. There you go. 140, 150, 160, 170. Let's dab it with the brakes. Into third, bit more brakes. Turn in. Try to fight its nose staring into the grass. Down into the second. There we go. Composed, dignified, maybe a little bit too much on the safe side. But Hammerhead is gonna be the big tests. Third, second, go left one way, right the other way. It stayed a little bit with the nose, but I can manage. Into the follow through where I will lift and do a slight brake, just for its sake. Through the tires, but I definitely not going to be full flat because, again, I don't want to risk it. I don't actually own these vehicles, I just borrow them, so if I crash them, no, the rule, you brake, you buy, into second, and 121.68. So this is actually faster than the Ardente. That's a bit surprising because so far the Ardente has always been faster than the Vivace in every testing that I did. This was faster than the Ardente. So they are literally, it's all within margin of error. None of them are more than 5 seconds apart. In fact, they're not more than 124, 122, 21, so 2 to 3 seconds apart between each time I take them around a timed lap. But here is the question though. Of both these vehicles, with both their good bits and their bad bits. Now the good of both is their practical cars. Both good, they both have nice 5-cylinder engine. It just sounds good. No, there's no replacement for displacement, and it can't be linked with the V8, whatever the say of very quotes. But nothing can beat the sound of a 5-cylinder straight engine. It sounds a little bit, it's not more unique than a V8 or a straight 6 or whatever it is. It just sounds nice. Same for the VR5 as well, so the V5, whatever it is, but it's kind of unbalanced, so 5-cylinder, I like that layout configuration. That's why I always liked the Vivace. But what about the Ardente? I think with the Ardente is I'll place it some time here to have the lighting go on it to be. Whoa, let's not do that. So do the Ardente is that I like the front. The front reminds me of a Honda / Acura NSX. The front of the Vivace is just, I don't like those headlights. I don't like those headlights, and also the kind of it's too much going on. Sidewise, the side profile, I prefer what they've done with the Ardente. However, the reason why the window line is black and not aluminium is, see this kind of window line goes straight, smooth, like this, and the bottom line goes straight, and then it goes upwards, and then it goes straight again. In fact, it goes downslope on the top of the rear window. It goes straight up, straight on the bottom. It's just too busy, too crowded. That's why I have the top bit blacked out completely. So it is just smooth. You can do aluminium roof, aluminium window frame pillars. This car can be made to be really ugly, but with a completely black roof, black window frame around it, and then a nice color, that can work. The rear tail light, I'm not a fan of it. It just, that red line that goes around it, it goes for too long. Where that white stops, there it should stop as well. Or simply have that bit of the red stop somewhere on the trunk, and then simply connect to the tail light and have just one single tail light, not have the body go through the middle of it. Is in fact the reason why I don't like the Vivace headlights. It has a lot of body between all the headlight bits. I don't like that at all. That being said, the overall car, in desktop mode and look at pictures, I just always said the car is ugly, the car is ugly, the car is ugly. But with a blacked window frame over the roof area bit, so the complete black roof like the Vivace is, that makes the side profile a lot more acceptable. And if I would make the car something like red, that will hide that weird, that ugly red line that goes around the tail lights. That would mask that bit. And if I take those two considerations, it's actually a really pretty car. Especially if I look at this part and imagine the windows being tinted and with a dark red color scheme. That would look rather amazing. However, the Vivace is a lot more practical. You have more space in the rear seats. You have, realistically, IRL, this car would be able to take more cargo, but both in the game can take the same amount of cargo boxes. You have 3 in the trunk, and then a size L that you can replace the back seats. Both can have tow hitches, all-wheel drive, front-wheel drive, rail-wheel drive. With configurations or all front-wheel drive or all-wheel drive. There is one rail-wheel drive config with the Ardente. I don't think that the Vivace comes with an rear-wheel drive, but you have rear-wheel drive conversions because these are two. They are using the exact same chassis. No word of a lie. The exact same chassis. So you can basically, that it can be rear-wheel drive. So you can make vanilla BeamNG drive a rear-wheel drive Charrier Vivace. Which essentially, it reminds me a bit of Peugeot, and also I think it reminds me of a Peugeot 508, and also reminds me a little bit of an Opel Astra / Corsa. I don't know why, but imagine an Astra or a 508, or a 408, I think, whatever the current hatch is. Imagine that as a rear-wheel drive car. That's kind of hilarious. So, with the Ardente, the Vivace actually became a better car as well because it now has vanilla rear-wheel drive conversion options. That's just hilarious. So, of both these vehicles, I would take home this here, the Ardente. Simply because the interior is a nicer place to be. I mean, the interior, it can use some more accessories, or the customization of like the aluminium accents. I would like to have them, maybe color match to the exterior. Get that Ardente bits grinded up because it's too shouty, in my opinion. So that takes it over the top. So remove the Ardente, make that flush, make it the exterior paint or maybe carbon fiber, and then it will be basically a perfect interior in my opinion. Maybe also a sun, a roof glass thingy. Anyways, this will be the car I'm gonna take home. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and I gotta say thanks for watching, take care, and I see you later. I'm gonna drive under the plane. I'm just curious, can you drive under a plane in a French sports car? Because it's essentially a Peugeot CRZ. Under the middle. Hey!